Welcome. In this presentation, brought to you by the experts at My Tax Accountant, we're pulling back the curtain on how HMRC is using artificial intelligence to scrutinize your finances. We're going to explore what this new era of digital tax investigation means for your financial privacy right here in the UK, and, most importantly, what you can do about it. Okay, let's dive right in.
So, let's start with a number that's pretty hard to ignore: £4.6 billion. That's how much extra tax HMRC managed to collect last year. Now, how did they do it? Well, it wasn't by hiring thousands of new inspectors. Nope. This huge uplift came from an AI system. A system that is quietly and very effectively analyzing your financial life, and it might just know more about it than you do.
So, over the next few minutes, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll meet HMRC's new digital detective, so you can really understand the tech that's changing the game. Then, we'll get into how it knows, well, pretty much everything about you. After that, we'll look at the very real risks that come with this kind of automation. Then, we get to the good stuff, how you can protect your financial data. We'll also walk through what to do if you get that dreaded letter for an AI-led enquiry. And finally, we'll talk about why getting expert help is more important now than ever.
Right, first up, let's meet the ghost in the machine. HMRC's new digital detective is an AI powerhouse, and its name is Connect. And believe me, it is fundamentally changing UK tax investigations forever.
Let's just come back to that massive number for a second. That £4.6 billion. That entire amount was generated from cases flagged specifically by the Connect system in the 2025-26 tax year. This isn't some side project, it's a super effective tool right at the very heart of HMRC's compliance strategy, and its success is exactly why every single one of us needs to understand how it works.
So what exactly is Connect? Well, think of it as a sort of digital bloodhound for your data. It sniffs through billions, and I mean billions, of pieces of information from all over the place and then cross-references them against your tax return in a matter of seconds. It's looking for any mismatches, any odd patterns, any financial inconsistencies that a human inspector, with limited time and resources, would almost certainly miss. And this isn't some niche tool either. Over 4,300 HMRC staff are actively using it right now to build their cases.
Okay, so that brings up a pretty big question. If this thing is so good at spotting inconsistencies, where on earth is it getting all of its information? Let's pull back the curtain and uncover the huge web of data that HMRC's AI has access to.
Now, just take a look at the sheer scope of these sources. I mean, it's breathtaking. We're not just talking about your bank account. Connect is pulling in everything: your credit card records, property sales from the land registry, even your council tax data. It sees your sales on places like Airbnb and eBay, and yep, you see that right, it can even scan your public social media posts for clues about your lifestyle versus your declared income. Add in data from foreign tax authorities and other UK agencies like the DVLA, you get the picture. Each piece is a thread, and Connect weaves it all together.
Let's make this a bit more real. Let's talk about Ben. He's a freelance web developer living in London. Now, his main income from his clients, that's all declared, all above board. But on the side, he rents out a spare room on Airbnb to help with the bills. And last year, he sold some pretty expensive camera gear on eBay. To Ben, these feel like totally separate one-off things. But to HMRC's AI, they're not separate at all. They are all connected data points on a map. The AI sees the Airbnb income, it sees the sale of that camera gear, and it checks both against the income Ben actually declared. If it spots a gap, boom, a red flag goes up.
And this is a big one. Here's where a lot of people go wrong. See, it's not about HMRC having to dig around for this data anymore. As of November 2025, digital platforms like Airbnb, eBay, Vinted, you name it, are now legally required to automatically report your seller income directly to HMRC. So that little side hustle income, it's now being served up to the AI on a silver platter. The days of that kind of income flying under the radar are well and truly over.
Now, from HMRC's perspective, this is all incredibly efficient. But all this automated power, it comes with some serious risks. So let's talk about that. What happens when the machine gets it wrong?
And look, this isn't just a hypothetical worry. This quote here is from a real legal ruling. A tax tribunal actually criticized HMRC for its lack of transparency, saying that its refusal to be open about its AI tools undermines public trust. Basically, the court is worried that HMRC is running a black box system, making decisions about your finances using logic it refuses to explain. And that's a pretty scary thought for any taxpayer.
And this slide really nails the challenge we're all facing.
A human inspector, they understand context. They get nuance. You can actually have a conversation with them and explain things. The AI auditor, though, it's a different beast entirely. It's lightning fast. It sees patterns no human ever could, but it has zero human understanding. It can't grasp context. And maybe the most worrying thing of all is that it can suffer from something called an AI hallucination.
Okay, stay with me here, because this next point is where your financial privacy is really at risk. An AI hallucination, in this context, is basically when the system just makes something up. It gets it wrong. It invents a connection that simply isn't there. For example, let's say your parents give you a large cash gift for a house deposit you put in the bank. The AI could see that one-off payment and completely misinterpret it as undeclared business income. And just like that, a single digital mistake could trigger a full-blown, invasive tax inquiry, all based on the faulty logic of a machine.
So, that's the risk, and it is a serious one. But, and this is a big but, you are not powerless here. So now, let's pivot to the solution. Let's talk about protecting your financial data and how you can actually prepare for the age of the AI tax inspector.
There are 3 key steps to making your records AI-proof. Number 1, meticulous digital records. Use accounting software, keep every single invoice, every receipt. Why? Because that's your evidence. It's your proof. Number 2, reconcile everything, all the time. Regularly match your bank statements to your income and expenses. Why do this? Because it's exactly what the Connect AI is doing on its end. You need to beat it to the punch. And third, understand your obligations. Ignorance is just not a defense in the eyes of HMRC. You have to know the rules for your specific income streams.
And here's a pro tip for you, and honestly, this one could save you a world of headaches. If you have any kind of self-employed or business income, you absolutely must separate your business and personal bank accounts. It is the single easiest, most effective way to create a clean audit trail. It just makes it so much harder for HMRC's algorithms to get confused and flag your legitimate personal spending as some kind of suspicious income. It's a simple step that makes a huge difference.
But what happens if, even with all your best efforts, that dreaded brown envelope from HMRC lands on your doormat? Let's walk through how to navigate an AI-led inquiry from the moment you get that letter.
The whole process generally follows a clear timeline. It all starts with the inquiry letter. Rule number 1, do not ignore it. Seriously. Next, you'll get a detailed information request, and they'll probably ask for several years' worth of records. Then comes the analysis phase, where they compare what you've sent with what they already have. After that is the communication stage, a bit of back and forth to clarify any discrepancies. And finally, you get to the resolution, which is where a final decision is made.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. From the moment that first letter arrives, the clock is ticking. The speed and the professionalism of your initial response and the quality of the information you provide right at the start will set the tone for the entire investigation. A sloppy or slow start can lead to a much longer, more stressful, and frankly, more expensive inquiry. And all of this brings us to our final and maybe our most important point, getting expert help. Let's talk about why trying to navigate this new AI-driven landscape all by yourself is a pretty big risk, and one you really don't need to take.
But first, just a very quick but important disclaimer. The information we've shared here is for general guidance. Tax law is, well, it's a minefield, and everyone's personal situation is different. So please don't rely only on this information to make big financial decisions.
Which really leads us to the final critical question you need to ask yourself. In an era where the first line of a tax investigation isn't even a person anymore, but a machine, an algorithm, can you really afford not to have a human expert on your side, fighting your corner?
A real human expert can challenge an AI's faulty conclusions, provide information in the exact format HMRC needs, and navigate that whole complex process for you. For professional help with your tax affairs and for genuine peace of mind in this new age of AI audits, you should consult the experts at My Tax Accountant.
They offer specialist advice on everything from tax compliance to investigations and a whole range of other accounting services. You can contact them today for a consultation. The phone number is +44 0208 570 8531, and the email is info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk. Don't wait until that letter arrives. Get the experts on your side. Thanks so much for your time.